Hey, we'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, iZotope, makers of software and plugins for audio repair, mixing, and mastering. We use iZotope products here at the High Gain. It's an important part of how we've been able to bottle pure podcast gold week after week. And guess what? iZotope offers 1 free month of Music Production Suite Pro, which has all the tools you need to mix, master, and repair audio. Also, you can get 10% off all other software using the promo code FRET10. That's FRET10. All of this is at iZotope.com, IZOTOPE.com. Hey, we'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, iZotope, makers of software and plugins for audio repair, mixing, and mastering. We use iZotope products here at the High Gain. It's an important part of how we've been able to bottle pure podcast gold week after week. And guess what? iZotope offers 1 free month of Music Production Suite Pro, which has all the tools you need to mix, master, and repair audio. Also, you can get 10% off all other software using the promo code FRET10. That's FRET10. All of this is at iZotope.com, IZOTOPE.com.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Ed Peterson.
Oh, hi, Ed. It's me, John Kiltica.
How are you, John?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's your mustache?
My mustache is coming in full and hot.
Yep. 3 months into the year, and you're still doing it.
Still doing it, and still wondering why you care.
It's a look. I've known you for 20 plus years, and you have never rocked a mustache this consistently for this long. Never.
That's true. I have not.
And it's a look.
Turn it up the corner.
Oh my God, that's great. You need to get yourself some wax.
Some mustache wax?
That'll be sick.
Yeah.
Oh my God, please keep that going. Please. I love it. We talk about guitars.
We do talk about guitars.
Basses. Amplifiers.
Amps. Pedals. I got to tell you, Ed, for those listening and who are curious,
yeah,
I am rethinking our series on how amps work.
I thought about that the other day.
Because, just doing what a rectifier does just about wrecked me.
Damn near killed him.
First, I got to figure out what any of this means. Then I have to figure out a way to explain it simply. And in the end analysis, I was not able to do it. I think I got to put this on hiatus until I can either figure out a better way to learn it, or maybe we get some amp dudes in here.
I think that's the key. Folks who know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, let's understand our limitations. And
yes.
When somebody admits to not knowing shit about tube amps, is that the person you want to explain tube amps to you? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I would have to dumb it down so much that it would be worthless.
Yeah.
Amplifiers need power.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you plug them into walls.
Right. So where are we recording from, John?
We are in beautiful West Seattle, Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and today as we record this in the now time, it is daylight saving time.
Oh, my God.
Ugh.
I thought to myself, I'm doing great. I'm early. I texted John, like, hey, I'll be up. Totally just kind of lounging around. And I was looking at a clock that didn't set the time, so I was actually an hour late.
It was really funny because Ed texts me late. And he's like, I was thinking of maybe bringing that amp up. And I felt like saying, any idea when you might want to do that?
I totally thought I was on time. And both of us are like, man, I'm kind of tired today.
But it all goes by the wayside because I'm stoked to have the light back.
Yeah, I mean, I just want them to set the times and just keep them there. We're not farmers.
There are too many studies across too many fields. I don't think people will ever agree. Don't forget, if you do it this way, it's going to kill people. According to our studies, if you do it the other way, it's going to kill people.
I didn't know this was a life or death thing. That's not a thing I actually knew.
Kids' grades will suffer. Cats and dogs living together.
Got it.
Yeah.
Beverages.
Beverages, Ed.
That was pretty metally.
That's pretty medley.
That's a pretty metally guitar.
Today, we've got a Dunable Cyclops.
These have been on our radar for 5 years.
Yeah.
This is the first one we've been able to get a hold of and actually demo with.
Right.
When I went to LA, there were like any number of guitar stores that I could have gone to. The only one I went out of my way to go to was the Dunable shop.
Yeah.
And I spent a couple hours in that shop just playing like weirdo 9-strings, and the people in there were all awesome. Stoked to have this thing.
What are you drinking?
Real back to basics, John. I went to our good friends at Uptown Espresso on California Avenue in beautiful West Seattle. And I got a just Americano, black.
Oh, I'm happy to report that I went with Ed and he was kind enough to buy me a soy latte.
Soy latte.
I normally go black coffee.
Yep.
But, you know,
when you're out and about.
I'm out and about. Ed's paying for it. I'm going to get all fancy.
Yeah, nothing fancier than a soy latte.
Yeah.
Yeah. That place, they do the home of the velvet foam.
It's very velvety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that logo. It just weirds me out for whatever reason.
Yeah, but you're going to like it better than like home of the moist foam.
Uptown Espresso, they're great.
Yeah. And this segment is available, Uptown Espresso, for sponsorship opportunities.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. We'll drink that shit.
Yeah. How's your soy latte?
It's delicious.
Great.
I also have a Fever Tree ginger beer because, you know, I like the snap.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
I feel much better.
Okay. You're out in the public. You go out and you interface with the peoples.
I do. I've had back-to-back really bad colds, which is super dumb.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. I dropped a 160-pound barbell on my chest this week.
Did it deflate you like a balloon?
It did. I was bench pressing and my wrist snapped forward and it just went from fully extended to crushing my chest. I thought I had broken shit, but I can still breathe. And
this, viewers, is why you don't go to the gym.
It's why you don't exercise or diet or do any of that nonsense, because it's bad for you.
That's right.
That guitar is so sick, John.
Let me tell you about it.
Black hardware, kind of a matte finish.
Yeah. Ebony fretboard.
Yeah.
Stainless steel frets.
Yep.
2 Dunable pickups.
Yep.
Dunable makes about 8 different kind of pickups.
Yeah.
I can tell you these sound to me like they're very hot humbuckers.
I don't think they make not hot. I think if you want not hot, you don't get a Dunable. I think. Silver witch hat knobs. Love them.
And it's got a switchy switch.
Yeah.
So right now, humbuckers. Single coils. If I go to the bridge, like we like, single coil, treble all the way up. Why don't we put it on a little 1981 little overdrive? Humbucker mode? I should say right off the bat, with the ebony fretboard and the stainless steel frets, this thing plays smooth. I could see for like the medley dudes, no resistance.
And it's not a super thin neck.
I might call it a fat C. It might be a little wider.
Maybe.
The more professional podcasters would have measured this.
Pass. It's black and it's kind of pointy.
It responds.
Is that 24 frets?
22 frets.
Set neck.
Yeah, 25.5-inch scale on a set neck. It's pretty cool.
Sick.
Mahogany neck, mahogany body.
And it's light. A skosh over 7 pounds, maybe?
About that, yeah, I'd say. So now I'm in neck. Single coil. Turn this off again so we can know. That's pretty medley, huh? And then humbucker.
What are you doing?
The metal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, John, what can you tell me about Dunable guitars?
Once upon a time, Ed,
Yeah.
there was this guy named Sasha Dunable.
Okay.
He was born in 1981.
Okay.
Everywhere I could find says he was born in the USA. Currently resides in Los Angeles,
Yes.
where the Dunable factory is.
Mm-hmm.
He always loved guitar from a young age. He's one of those guys that loved tinkering with them and playing around with them, not to mention learning how to play them. He was one of those guys always taking stuff apart and putting it back together.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, he got jobs doing tech work, even sales. He worked at Guitar Center even for a while. He was trying to pick up as much experience as possible.
Sure.
And he did that all the way through about 2008 or so, while he was in his band touring. His band's name is Intronaut.
Yep.
Probably some sort of mashup, maybe? Introvert and
No.
astronaut? No? Is that not right?
If it were a mashup of things, I would not guess that it's introverted, but we don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a cool name. Man or Astro Man. That's a cool name.
that's a cool name too. They are kind of progressive metal, and those guys
Yep.
shred the hell out of stuff.
Yeah. Little mathy.
Pretty calculatory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fierce.
I think fierce is a good way to look at that. There's a song called Cubensis, and it's super mathy. So I went looking to see if they play that live.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you hear studio shit and you're just like, there is no possible way this can be reproduced live. And then you see the videos. How do they do that? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Sure. He can play.
In the course of touring with Intronaut, they played a lot of shows with a lot of different bands they were fortunate to open up for. Sasha Dunable was making his own guitars at that point, stuff that he wanted to hear. He knew that he wanted something that was kind of bulletproof for the road,
Yep.
something with hotter pickups, and something that was very easy to play in terms of metal. And he didn't want it to have a lot of frills. He wanted it to be very utilitarian. So he would make these things himself and bring them out on tour. And as he says, after a while, people in the other bands were like, "What is that? What's that thing you're playing? I made it." "Really? Could you make me one?" And that kind of word of mouth began the momentum that he needed to maybe ramp up a brand for himself.
Yeah.
The quote about the way they look from Dunable, I thought was pretty cool. He said, "Someone once told me our guitars look like some forgotten guitar from the 70s on a pawn shop wall that you never knew existed."
Yeah.
Bits and pieces from other guitars just kind of put together, made into a thing.
Yep. This guitar in a sunburst, I could totally see as like a 70s kind of Ibanez-y weird.
It does have pieces of all of that
Yep.
mishmash.
I posted a picture of just the bottom horn and someone replied to the photo and was like, it looks a little SG-ish.
The horns are pointy like an SG, but the entire thing is offset.
Just a little.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
thing's got locking tuners on it too, which are nice.
Talking about Sasha building the guitar he wanted to play, it seems like Oliver Ackerman from Death by Audio. He's building effects that he wants for his band.
It's an interesting
like-
impulse, isn't it?
It's awesome.
You're some sort of artist. You've got a vision in your head, and you're like, I guess I'm just going to have to make it myself.
Yeah, you need the tool for the job, and
Yeah.
it doesn't exist. That's super good.
Around 2008, when he realized he wanted to get more serious about all of this, he took a class at the Musicians Institute,
Oh,
Guitar Craft Academy.
huh.
How to build guitars. Everything you need to know to build guitars.
I wonder if those early ones were set necks as well. I wonder how much they've changed since those early days.
This is just me guessing.
Yeah.
But if the class is any kind of comprehensive, maybe you learn how to do both. And then you can decide for yourself what you want to do once you leave the class.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I've ever seen a Dunable with a bolt-on neck.
I don't think so.
I like the fact that this is set neck. It just feels rock solid.
Rock solid for as light as it is.
Yeah. It feels like
Yeah.
this could really take a beating on tour, which is probably part of what he wanted, right?
Yep.
So then in 2012, he converts his garage into a wood shop and starts tooling up.
That is a pretty great trajectory. Starting in 2012 to what he has today, amazing growth.
And I think once he had the design more nailed down or more consistent, the brand was more identifiable maybe. I can only imagine that the bands he was on tour with continued to take notice.
I saw Deaf Heaven, and Deaf Heaven dudes were playing Dunables.
Yeah.
And this is a Cyclops?
This is a Cyclops, yes. This Cyclops does have the switch that goes from humbucker to single coil on both pickups, but it doesn't have to have that.
Right.
You can get it without it. You could have that switch do something else. Tell them what you want. They'll use a CNC machine for the neck to get the preliminary kind of consistency, and then they'll work it by hand from there. But the bodies are still cut out with hand routers and shaped, all the bevels you see and all of that by hand. And all the wood is milled in-house.
What does that mean?
Taking a log and turning it into a 2x4. That process is called milling.
Sure.
Whereas some guitar manufacturers are like, yeah, I would like a plank that is 2 inches thick by whatever.
Right.
Dunable presumably is like, no, just give me the whole slab. We'll mill it ourselves.
Sure.
Yeah. And Dunable himself, Sasha, apparently, does all the painting.
Oh, really?
All the other dudes have other jobs, but the painting is his.
That's wild.
It's kind of an interesting study in how to ramp up a guitar brand from scratch.
Was it pre-pandemic when they made the DE line, the overseas line?
That was 2021.
Mid-pandemic.
Yeah, the DE line is made in South Korea.
Yeah. It's funny. Even though those seem a little more common than the custom shop stuff, never seen a DE either. We would have done a DE if one had come through. Would I build this exact guitar? Chances are good it would be pretty close. Black on black.
Yeah.
But then you go on their Instagram or look at some of their old builds. They have some really cool, wacky color stuff.
They do.
You really get a sense of what this guitar is about by playing it through a Pog. This is a great heavy guitar replacement. Anything in the Gibson line, like Les Paul, SG, anything like that.
Yeah, this becomes another one of those things that we talk about all the time. Well, as long as it's got 2 humbuckers and it's mahogany and does that stuff.
Get something cool.
Yeah, get something that isn't a Les Paul. Get this thing. I'm curious what Ed would do with this. I'm going to hand this over.
Yeah. Les Pauls are pretty expensive, and you can get something USA made for...
Not that.
Yes, less than a Les Paul. That's pretty rad.
What do you want on? What do you want to play with, Ed?
Turn on the Benson. Can I have this, John?
It cleans up really well, too, doesn't it?
It sounds so good.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Even this Doom machine cleans up so well. That's nice.
There you go.
You gotta try it. Try and decide. Is it hello or goodbye? Buy or deny?
Yeah, it's all black, Ed.
Yeah.
It's got a couple of humbuckers in it. It's got a coil splitter,
Mm-hmm.
the Dunable Cyclops.
Yep.
Buy or deny.
Buy. The only thing is I have a problem, John, that's been established. And Frank at Thunder Road Guitars knows my weaknesses.
Uncle Frank has enabled it.
What do we got to do to get you out of the store with this guitar, Ed? Something would have to go for me to actually buy this, but it's super tempting to just buy this guitar.
Well, it's easy for me this week.
Yeah.
Ed always gives me grief because I have the two sides of the argument. Would I personally, John, like to have this? Versus I don't want to discourage anybody listening from buying a guitar that they might like. Fortunately for me, this week the answer is the same. It's buy.
Yeah.
Would I recommend this to listeners? Yep. Would I buy this? Yep.
I don't know how much less the DE models are,
I don't either.
but I could see myself having the exact same answer with the DE as well.
I find that sometimes we play guitars, and when I play them clean, they sound like whatever they sound like, but they don't get their kind of clarity and definition until I put a little something on them.
Yep.
It just sounds great. Well, I think we should take a ton of pictures of this. People are going to want to see it, especially its lovely matte finish.
Yep.
And then we'll put them up on the webs.
The internet.
Yeah, the internets.
Yep.
Our Instagram page is a very lovely place to go.
The High Gain.
That's our @ What's your @ Ed? Our Prime website, thehighgain.com.
Sure. Are we part of the Ruinous Media Network of music-related podcasts?
We sure are.
How is that, John?
Perfect.
Top of the dome.
Pop quiz.
Yeah.
Can you do it faster?
No. I don't even know if I can do it again. We're part of the Ruinous Media Network of music-related podcasts.
That was great.
John.
That was great.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
Ed's been practicing because the guys over there, Joe and the fellas,
Putting me on a performance improvement plan. Yeah. Well, I think you did a great job too, John.
oh, thank you. I think you did a good well, yeah, no, it was all right.
All right. DunableGuitars.com. Go check out their stuff
Yeah.
because, man, they're rad. Okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.